So I caught wind today of this cool new Bitcoin Cash software that Vin Armani has developed called SLP Swap. And I've been an admirer of his swap protocol. And it sounds like he's kind of taken it to the next level. But anyways, this company, Digital Technology Group, they reached out to me, and they are putting his code into action by creating an on-chain decentralized exchange. Now, it's not really decentralized yet because there's only this one exchange, but this is open source software, presumably. And so it's a protocol that he's published, and using the swap protocol for doing it's like an extension to it for doing a on-chain exchange, and it lets you set up basically an automated exchanger. And so this is this api.slpswap.com/rates. These are the current tokens that these have listed. And so what I'm going to show today is how to use their command line application, this SLP Swap client, to exchange tokens. So they reached out to me. I gave them the information they needed to integrate the PSF token for the Permissionless Software Foundation. And what's super cool is they offer the Spice token and the Honk token. These are common tipping tokens. The Psi token, which is the token for Sideshift.ai. They have the PSF token. These are all SLP tokens. The Refund token, Sour token, Ham token. The DTG, Digital Technology Group, has their own token. But then, most importantly, USDT and USDH, these two stable coins. So using this command line application, anyone can swap PSF tokens directly for the stable coins. Now, there is I refresh the page. I just did a transaction, so I think it's a little lower. So if you're going to do this and try to swap like one of these tokens for a stable coin, you need to make sure that it has enough. So right now it only has $1.54. So this is just a prototype. But what I wanted to do is make this video to kind of show some of the developers who follow me and follow what I do, just sort of show them how to play with this and get started with this. I'm absolutely fascinated by this technology. I think it's the next step in the cash use case, being able to permissionlessly trade tokens. So again, imagine that this is just one exchange of potentially hundreds, all running permissionlessly, all running in a decentralized fashion, and then working together to find a common market price for these tokens. I believe that is the vision that they have for this. But I don't want to speak for Vin and whoever else he's working with. But just real quick, let me show you. So the client is a command line client. It's at github.com/vinarmani/slp swap-client. And to install it, you go git clone, copy, and paste that URL, which I already did. And that'll create I'm on an Ubuntu Linux, but it should be fairly similar for Windows and Mac. And then you go npm install to install the dependencies. And then I've got some commands here that I've already created. So you start the application with node space index.js. That's pretty normal. And then you start giving it this information. The width is the private key. I'm okay sharing this because I'm going to destroy this wallet after this recording. And these arguments are listed out in their README. So here's how to do an SLP swap. You give it the width, which is the private key, the amount to trade, the token ID that you're sending, and the receive of what they're sending. Now, just to be clear, they're working on a GUI. A GUI is coming soon, but that's not available yet. But this back end of the system is up right now. So if you're anxious like I am and you want to play with this and kick the tires, this is how you do it. So so the token you're sending, the token you want to receive. So he's got an example here of how you would fill it out to send 50.5 spice in exchange for honk. Private key, amount is 50.5. That's the spice token ID. That's the receive token ID. So let me show you sort of how I'm using it. This is the wallet address that I'm using, and I've already been playing with it a bit. I've got it loaded with about 23 cents in Bitcoin Cash. It's got some Honk token, Spice token, this DTG token. I bought some of those. It's got some PSF tokens, and it's got a little bit of USDH. So I'm going to send, let's see, I'm going to send some PSF tokens and I'm going to send some USDH. You know what, I'm just going to do another one. I'm going to send $1 in USDH, and I'm going to buy Spice with it. So this is the private key for the wallet that I've been using. I'm going to send $1 in USDH, and this is the token ID for USDH. And then the token ID for Spice, all these IDs are listed in the rates. So here's the token ID for Spice. So I'm going to replace this with that. So I'm sending 1 USDH, and I'm receiving Spice. So let's find out what they're charging. What $1 how much Spice will $1 buy? So I'm going to paste that in here and hit go. It's retrieving the rates from that API that we just looked at. And it's generating the UTXOs. It's actually generating 2 transactions, because to do a swap, you can only send 1 SLP token per transaction. So to do a swap, you have to have 2 transactions, but it's using the swap protocol to do this in a trustless way. So here's the 2 transactions. It ended up exchanging $1 for 550 Spice tokens, and minus the SLP post office cost, which I believe is 4 cents, whatever that works out to be. So if we look at these transaction IDs on the Blockchain Explorer, we can see that it's 2 different SLP tokens. Might as well get this one loaded up here. So there's the first transaction, and there's the second transaction. So this was us sending the USDH. We had 2 USDH UTXOs. That got combined. We sent 1 USDH there when we sent the remainder back to ourselves. And then here's that Spice transaction. That's the Spice it had, and it sent us 541 Spice in exchange for that. Is that what it said? 550? Okay, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy, but whatever, it's a prototype. And then if we look at the address here, we can see there's 2 new transactions, a Spice transaction and an Honest Coin transaction. Oh, but we did get 541, so I don't know what's up with that. There's something weird happened there. Oh no, 541. That's what we thought. So it must be 550 minus 541. So the remaining 9 Spice tokens paid for the post office. So that's interesting. I'm still learning this stuff. Yeah, and then here's the raw hex for the transaction if you really want to dig into the details. But I'll leave it here. Yeah, I'm fascinated by this. We just did an on-chain exchange, peer-to-peer, trustlessly, no server in between, and all on-chain, which means it's decentralized and permissionless. That's pretty cool.